All right, it's Friday night. We're going to do part two and try to finish up this tank. We got the centerpiece of it completely fabricated up and welded as much as we could out of the tank, and then now we've got it in there. This round part of the tunnel here is not exactly square, as you can see. When we made the bend, it didn't bend great because part of the lip of where it turned up for the 90 was still left. So anyway, this part right here will be underneath the frame. You won't even be able to see it, but we'll body work it a little bit and try to make it a little bit straight and go from there. So we got some tacks on here, and I'm going to try to set up both two cameras, and I've got an old welding helmet around here somewhere. Here it is over there. That came with a welder that's not an auto darkening, so try to set up a camera and tape it to the inside of the lens and see if, and then another camera that's not behind the lens, and do a little picture-in-picture video here for you. So we've got some tacks in place. We're going to put a few more on it. Nice thing is this is 18 gauge sheet metal, and as you can see, there's not really a flat spot anywhere on it. So we'll get those tacks probably about 1 inch apart, and then we'll do some 1-inch stitches and keep alternating around. So, and then after that, we got to cut a slot up here for our filler cap and get that welded in. And so anyway, we'll take you along with this. All right, well, we got it all welded up, and so we're going to grind it first, and then going to do some checking for leaks, and see if we can find any pinholes or anything, and then fix those, and then do a little finish cleanup on it. Because of the angle of welding on that corner, ended up with a lot of BBs all over the place to clean up. But anyway, we'll get that taken care of and get it finished up. And so then next we'll put the gas cap in and show you that, and that'll wrap it up. We're going to use the stock mount that this came with on the front or the back, and then on the front we've got to make something that we'll weld a plate onto that right there, and have an attachment point up here on the frame somewhere, you know, here to bolt that on. So that's kind of the plan. We'll show you more as we make progress. All right, we got the tank all welded up. Got to get to grinding it down, and once we grind it down, we're going to come back and check for leaks. I got a fitting on there that I rigged up to hook an air hose up to it to pressurize it with air. So that's what we're going to use. And one of the things that you can that I try to do, you know, on a project like this, now that it's pretty much complete, is really do a good job of engineering and measuring, you know, and drawing out your plans and really putting some thought into it. And that way you don't have to make a a big mess and, you know, have a lot of trial and error and, you know, waste a bunch of metal and stuff. So, you know, if you do what I do and go ahead and plan it all out, that way you can get it in one try and, you know, not have to make several attempts at it. So anyway, we'll come back and grind this down and show you what we find with it. All right, got it ground down. Didn't want to over grind it and take a chance on, you know, grinding through and stuff, so we left it a little bit rough. You can see the seam there still. We're going to finish it out with some short strain fiberglass filler and glaze the top of it, the whole tank. So no sense in getting too aggressive there and risking grinding through or making it thin. So got a little pressurized system rigged up here. Since we haven't put the new gas filler bung in it yet, the whole tank is sealed up except for the opening for the petcock. So we got a little heater core hose on that and an air hose fitting down here. So you hear closely a slight leak. There's actually two down here, and it's got a little bit of wax and grease. You saw that little puff of steam. I don't know if you can see it or not. You can see it bubbling down there. Maybe you can't, but anyway, so I'll go and look for those little bitty spots and put a mark on those and come back and throw a tack on it, grind it back down, and keep looking until I get them all gone. All right, we'll come back. All right, we've gotten a little closer, put a few tacks in place to cover up. There was a big, you know, big stream of air coming out. You could see the steam earlier, and you can see now we've got a couple of areas that are just barely bubbling. So, right, we put a tack there, and we, you know, focused it more here, and it needed to be there. And we got one right there bubbling up just a little bit. So we'll tack those and keep moving around. All right, well, we've tracked down all the leaks and fixed all those, and there was a lot more than I thought there would be, and it took longer, probably 2 or 3 hours doing that. But we got them all fixed up. On the rear, we're going to use the mounting flange that came with it. On the front, we had to cut the front of the tunnel out, and it had a piece welded in that where it bolted through the frame or underneath the frame rail. So we couldn't use that because we had to cut that off, obviously. So we're going to use, made a little plate there, reinforcement, and then we'll put a mount right here and put a bolt through it. So that's the plan. All right, we're going to work on getting the gas filler neck welded in here. So we'll come back and show you what we got on that. All right, this is the flush mount pop-up style gas cap we're going to use, and we've got a mounting flange for it here. So we're going to, here's the problem with this cap all the way in. Screw it back in there to the flange. You can see that there's a gap there, which means it's going to sit up above the surface of the tank, and I don't think it'll look too good like that. It needs to be, you know, flush mounted, or, you know, even slightly countersunk by a 1/16 or something would look better than it popped up on top. So we're going to work on that and see if we can figure out how to get that recessed. I thought about welding like a piece of exhaust pipe in there and then letting this sit down and then weld that to that. That's going to be, I don't know, be a lot of work, and we'll have two different weld seams there to deal with. So we're going to see if we can make this work somehow. All right, we got our hole cut out with a hole saw, and so what we did was drop that cup down on the inside and you can see the gap there, which will create a challenge, but that created the space we needed to get this lid to sit on there flushly with you know, no gap or anything, just kind of sits right on the edge. The tiny gap right here on that side, it's just the contour of the tank, and that particular area is just too sharp to, no matter how flush it is, to get it to sit in there right. But that'll look good. Of course, you know, it's not going to be black. We'll paint it the same color as the tank and get it to blend in. So we'll go ahead and work on getting this welded up, and then we'll make some mounts to get the gas tank fitted in the frame, and we'll have this done. Oh, well, we got some body work to do, but as far as the fabrication, we'll have it done. All right, we got our tank mounts welded in there. Welds aren't the greatest. That's the back one there and the front one here. So we will get to working on the tank now, do a little body work on that, and get it fitted up and show you the final fit. Well, it's gotten dark out here, and pretty much got it wrapped up. Made a big mess, that's for sure. Got the tank mounted on there, got the first course of body work on it, and you know, it's fitting on there pretty good, fitting on there like we wanted it to. And so getting the body work down and all of that is going to be fun. So we'll get started on that and go ahead and upload this and call it a day. And we got a mess to clean up.